has won every award known to man for science teachers, and we are so fortunate to have him as our resident scientist on Lifestyle Live, Rick Crosslin, here with a lesson on color and light this morning. And I gotta say, if I had you as my science teacher, I probably wouldn't be this dumb. So
I hate you saying that.
I learn something every time you're here, though, and it makes me realize just how fortunate kids are when they've interacted with you, because you make it so interesting, so fun, and I'm excited to learn today.
Well, you have lots of questions. I have lots of questions, and so I never say the D word. You know, it's questions, and I'm always trying to figure things out, like, why is the sky blue?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember my daughter, she's grown now with her own kids, I asked me, hey, Dad, can you take us where the sky's always red? You know, you see the sun? So there's no such thing as a dumb question, really. Just try to ask questions about the world.
Being curious.
So people have done that forever and will continue. And one of my heroes, Isaac Newton, Sir Isaac Newton, he studied light. He probably one day thought, why is the sky blue? Why is it not orange or green? And he studied that. And his big hint was a rainbow. When you look at a rainbow, you see 7 colors. And science teachers like ROYGBIV, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. And they're always in that order. And those come from a prism. And Isaac Newton actually used a prism, and he saw that white light coming through can be split into the different colors of the rainbow. And those are part of a fancy thing called the electromagnetic spectrum, which is a fancy word, that energy from the sun. And all this comes from the sun, but we only can see this little part right here, visible light. That's white. Inside of our eyes, we have these things called rods and cones, and the cones show us color. But it gets really kind of weird. But I like this with kids, to try different things. Like if you have food coloring at home, you can put that in the water and a flashlight and make colors. You may not have these fancy different color palette, little paddles here that make green and red and blue. But these 3 colors, I picked these RGB. Have you ever heard RGB?
Yeah.
In the TV industry, you guys, and on your computers, if you go home and look at your computer screen or your television up close, you're going to see 3 little RGB dots. And from these 3 colors, we can make all the colors that you see on the television. And together, they all make white. I did some kind of fancy here. I have these 3 monitors. I don't know if we can see those right there. We have 3 of them down here. I'll turn this one on. Is that okay? I'll turn this one on. There we go. And here's my blue one. And so here's RGB. And Isaac Newton discovered this, but this is what's so cool. If I put my hand right here, you see all the different colors. Isn't that kind of cool? This is a fun thing to do. Of course, it's been a while since you've seen an overhead projector, I bet.
I love it. It's bringing back memories from elementary school.
So here's our red, green, and blue, and televisions and monitors use these. These get excited, and that's how we get all of our colors. And look at all your different shadows, and you get cyan, you get yellow. And I got to tell you a little cheat. I couldn't find my yellow today, so I used this one. I don't know if you can see this one right here. See my, I couldn't find my green, so I had to make it. So you mixed, So my blue and my yellow.
I love, my son has these little bathtub tablets. So every time he's in the bathtub, we put different colors in to see what colors they could make. And it's a really cool tool for him to learn what colors.
What colors? Here's something else he could do. This is the Newton wheel. Isaac Newton, like if you, these are the colors, but if you spin this, you get back to white.
Yeah.
And so I like to make these with kids, these little whirligigs. You can color it and do some spinning to see how this works. And one thing, though, that's to me is pretty amazing. I think there's a picture we have of Isaac Newton in his bedroom in his lab splitting light. That is really kind of a cool thing. Sunlight coming in on his wall.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. And I actually went to that room at his house, and there was a prism laying there, and of course I had to do it just to say I did it. But let me show you something that I think is pretty amazing. We use colors to understand chemicals. So when you see a star far away, or the atmosphere of a planet, the color on the electromagnetic spectrum can tell us what that atmosphere is made of.
Oh.
So I have here several different chemicals. We've got to put our goggles on here.
Okay.
And each of these colors, I have some clear fuel, but when I ignite it, you can see the different color there.
Oh, red.
There's red. So there's a red color, and because that is
cool.
And then this one is some sodium. This is actual salt, and that's yellow. And one of my favorites, of course, is some copper. So if we see these different colors, you could tell us what is in that atmosphere. And we can study that because we know the elements that get excited with energy and what color they make. I think it's amazing that you look at a star millions and millions of miles away and you could tell what the atmosphere is by how the light shows up on the electromagnetic spectrum.
That is so neat.
Close that up. And there was also this other guy.
Green fire was cool.
The blue fire is cool. There was a guy, you probably heard of him, I've talked to him about, named Tesla. And he made a Tesla coil. If I can get my little coil going here. And I think that's going, yes. And so same thing happens. We can get light to get excited. I don't know if you can see that. It's turning. There's argon, which is purple.
Oh my goodness.
And over here, and I'm not even touching it because Tesla wanted us to have a system where we don't use wires.
You got to see this part, right? That's
yes.
the part
that's the argon gas.
The camera up.
Getting excited.
See that there.
There you go.
That's purple.
And then here is another gas. This is krypton. It really is krypton, and it's white right there.
Yeah.
And so these are
so
all
cool.
ways to understand our world and seeing lights and color.
We're running out of time, so real quick on this one.
Different wavelengths. This one's just a fun thing to have.
That is fun.
With different colors, and it has a wave because these are wavelengths, and we can see only the ROYGBIV. Next time you see a sunset, it'll go in that order. Orange, and then you'll see, sometimes you might see the red and the blues, but very quickly. Colors are all around you.
I love it. And when your son or daughter inevitably asks you why the sky is blue, just play this video back, because I could never repeat everything you just said. But I feel like I understand it better now. I think I could come up with a better answer
or better
than before.
questions. Better questions.
Yes, ask the good questions. Nobody's dumb, even though I like to joke.
Don't say that.
He gets so mad at me, Cody.
He's
like, you're not dumb. You're just not asking the right question.
Yeah, that's a nice way of saying it.